Hi there guys, SirQuestPure here. Welcome back to the Quest Equipment Only series. As you can see, I unfortunately did not get 30 range this week. It's still only level 13. Wait, what's this? What do we have here? Members Object. That's right. I am back to being free to play. My bond ran out. I hit a significant snag on the road to 30 range, and in the course of this video, you'll get to see what that was. In the meantime, let's just take a little gander at what I've been up to for the past week. I've been noticing lately that they apparently recently added a bunch of new minimap icons, but it's kind of crazy. Aggie the Witch has her own icon now. Look at this. Up here. Old guy, the wise old man, has his own icon. The wine cellar and drainer has his own. Diango the toy guy. Ned the rope guy. I don't know. I mean, I feel like the minimap is a little crowded now. I mean, especially Lumbridge. The tea guy. He always had one, didn't he? I don't know. Finished Prince Ali Rescue. I didn't even mention that I was going to do that. On a lot of the old quests, there was this dynamic in the game where even once you'd gotten to the point where you'd logically finished the quest line and completed your mission, and the quest should really, you know, give you the quest complete and roll the credits, whatever, you had to return to the person that started the quest for you to, like, you know, quote-unquote claim your reward, which was usually negligible or nothing. They seem to have shied away from doing that in later quests. Hi there. I'm just now finishing up the Golem quest. Yeah, so that's Agra's Nar. It looks pretty dope as a skeleton. I wish I got to fight him like that. And that's that. 40 quest points. Okay. Golem is done. Next up is going to be Shadow of the Storm. After that, it's going to be gearing towards big chompy bird hunting. Shadow of the Storm, here I come. Okay, he doesn't think I'm evil enough because I guess the Silverlight does not count as an article of clothing, so I only have 2 black layers of clothing on. Okay, I have bad news or good news depending on how you want to look at it. So there is a quest item I could use in order to satisfy his entrance requirement, and that would be black gloves from the Colon Answers quest from Recipe for Disaster. So I think I need to do at least 3, I'm thinking it's 3 sub-quests of Recipe for Disaster, and then I'll be up to black gloves. Basically this means the road to 30 range is either, however you want to look at it, it's either screeching to a halt or it's just going to be a little longer than expected. Alright, here it is. I'm for real starting Recipe for Disaster. Excuse me? I did not pay attention to what he just said, but let's just do this. Let's get right into it. Damn, Duke is kind of a bick. Yeah, unfortunately people won't get this reference anymore. I wish they still had that random. I mean, I don't see why they couldn't have just had it be like, here's a magic box, do you want it? And then you could say no, like they do with the other ones. Yeah, this whole cutscene is really kind of dependent on understanding random events. There I am. There's SirQuestPure. Ooh, I should examine as much stuff as I can. I like to do that. Damn. Okay. It's a lot longer than I remembered it. Alright, so right now I'm working on the first of the Recipe for Disaster subquests that I'm going to be doing, and it's going to be the Goblin one, clearly. Now I need to go to Port Hazard. So that's going to be Fishing Trawler. I never noticed that he's wearing like a belly shirt. Ooh, right at 27. Yeah, that's probably not good. Okay, so I need to get rid of some weight. Such a good quest this is, Recipe for Disaster. It's first thing I said to look for was... There we go. Just killing mud skippers now. I am technically recording, but I'm definitely not showing all this, so... Alright. finish the Goblin subquest. Okay, let's see what I can get now. Maybe I can already get the black gloves. That's actually very bad news. So these were unlocked, the hard leather gloves were unlocked before I did any of the subquests. And then I did 2 subquests, and now I have bronze and iron. That means it treated bronze and iron as separate, which means the next subquest I do should be steel and then black. So that means I need to do 2 more in order to get to black. That I did not expect to have to do that many. So I'll do the dwarf, that should give me to steel, and then I'm going to have to figure out what the next one I can do is. Okay, so getting the black gloves and finishing Shadow of the Storm is going to be a big process. I have my plan mapped out now, which I will tell you about in a second, but first I'd like to talk about the future content of this channel in a little more of a general sense. So, it seems like basically nobody is actually watching this series, which is not that big of a deal. I'm mostly just doing this for fun anyway. I don't even know how to monetize, for example, even if I wanted to. Anyway, the point is, I suspect the few views I'm getting each video are almost all just random clicks. But if there are actually any of you who actually are interested in watching this series continuously, I'd like it if you left me a comment below with some suggestions. Then you would have almost complete control over what I do in this series, because my viewer base is clearly just so small. So just tell me what you want to see, and I'll do it. Also, I would really like to be able to ask for some feedback on certain things regarding this account's restrictions. On certain items, there's some gray area as to whether or not it's a quote-unquote quest item. I detailed the rules in the first video, which you should go back and watch if you haven't seen it, but there are still some items that are questionable, namely Initiate and Proselyte armor. I'm thinking, should I treat them as a true blue quest reward, or as a quest requiring item like the Dragon Skimmy or Rune Plate Body, which definitely I will not be wearing on this account. Anyway, we'll get more into those discussions in later videos if I see that I have some regular viewers to tap into. In the meantime, I'm going to be working on some free-to-play skills for a little while, and then I'll get back to the road to 30 range. I need 2 more of those Recipe for Disaster subquests, one of which will be the Dwarf, which is easy, and the 4th one is going to be a little trickier. So it's like this: multiple subquests in Recipe for Disaster require you to finish Big Chompy Bird hunting, which is quite a problem because that's the whole point of me doing this whole thing anyway. The only way I could get a 4th subquest done would be to do Monkey Madness and do the King Awalage portion of Recipe for Disaster. The only other option other than that would be to scrap the Recipe for Disaster plan altogether and do the Contact quest in the desert, which I think could get me to 30 range without having to do Shadow of the Storm or anything. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I remember the Contact bosses being very hard. I think I'd rather just stick to the Recipe for Disaster plan, which would mean me doing Monkey Madness, which will be fun. So yeah, I'm actually really glad, though, that this struggle is happening for the sake of this channel, because the whole point of this account was to run into really hard challenges because of the restrictions that I set for myself, and now this is one of those challenges. So I think this should be pretty interesting, a pretty interesting storyline, and I'd like to keep going forward with it unless some viewers have some other crazy suggestions for me. But seriously, I would pretty much do anything you ask of me at this point. Like, go poke Zulrah with Wolfbane? Sure, I'm in, whatever. Your wish is my command. Yeah, so that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. Have a good night, guys, and take care.